Hey guys, welcome back to another NBA video, and today I'm going to be talking about who will win the NBA 2018 Rookie of the Year. I'm going to be comparing 8 players, their summer league and college stats, and who I think has the most potential to win it. I also just wanted to add that this is only a prediction, so please don't hate me, and if you do, just know that Brogdon did win Rookie of the Year, and he was a 36th overall pick in the second round. And I wanted to say that I will go in order by draft pick for the 8 players. It's not going to be the top 8 players in the draft, but it's just going to go in order by how they were drafted. And also, for the last time, I'm not trying to sound biased in this video. I believe all of these players have talent and caliber of winning Rookie of the Year, so please don't dislike the video if you think I am. So I'm going to start off with Fultz, and the reason I want to start off with Markelle Fultz is because he was the first overall pick in the draft, and he did not play in the summer league because of a lateral ankle injury on his left ankle. So all the injuries aside, his college stats were actually pretty great. He played 25 games for Washington, playing 35 minutes per game and averaging 23 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. He also played 2 games in the summer league, playing 24 minutes per game and averaging 20 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. I just wanted to add that he was second in scoring for the summer league, and he only played 2 games. That's how good he was. Fultz isn't my favorite player in the draft, but I respect this guy's game a lot. Fultz is the most complete prospect in the draft. His size is good, has great athleticism, and can clearly run an offense. He's also a great shooter, ball handler, and passer. His defense is okay, but it definitely needs work. Drafting Fultz is probably the best choice the 76ers could have made. And the reason being, they drafted Simmons, Saric, Joel Embiid, Okafor, and recently acquired JJ Redick. I could name these guys' stats, but I'll do that for another video. I also wanted to add that there's a reason why Embiid made the trend called trust the process. After Iverson retired, the 76ers were never the same. They had to tank for draft picks and honestly have one of the brightest futures in the NBA. The Bucks are still better, don't at me. Anyways, back on topic. Since the 76ers have been tanking, they acquired amazing players like I just stated. That being said, that's why the hashtag trust the process was invented. They did go 28 and 54 last season, which isn't even close to decent, but they needed to for Fultz. They needed Fultz, a point guard, because looking at their roster, they have only one good point guard, being TJ McConnell, but they needed more. They literally had no depth in their roster if they didn't draft Fultz, or a point guard for that matter. If their whole roster can stay healthy and Fultz adjusts to the league, they can at least make 6th to 8th seed next year. Also because the East has like no competition. Now, before anyone starts hating me on that injury comment, I'm not trying to say that injury might ruin him, but just look at Derrick Rose. He won MVP in his rookie season, the only player to do so, and he's still averaging decent numbers, but injury kills a man. If Fultz can heal, he can live up to the hype. Taking number 2, of course, is Lonzo Ball. The reason being is that he was the 2nd overall pick for the Los Angeles Lakers. Ball has been hyped since his days in Chino Hills, and frankly, he can live up to the hype. Ball is ranked top 3 in every team in the league, and a handful of lottery teams have ranked him number 1. He's probably one of the greatest passers that came from UCLA to the draft in the past decade. He's also an athletic deep-range shooter with a whack-ass jump shot. To add, his father did start his own shoe company named Big Baller Brand, which you can check out the video in the description. Anyways, back on topic. Lonzo's been hyped up since his high school career. I'm gonna break through his stats in college and in the summer league. He played 36 games for UCLA, playing 35 minutes per game and averaging 14 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. Those are really great stats, but there's a reason Fultz was chosen number 1 and the stats prove it. Lonzo is a great 3-point shooter. His form is odd, but it works, and he's also a really great point guard. So I was looking at the script I made for this video, and I was just stunned because I made every stat line that he had for the summer league with different shoes that he wore. Because remember when everyone was talking about when he wore the Big Baller Brand shoes and he sucked? And then when he wore Jordans, Adidas, all that shit? And I'm just not going to state those. You guys can check out the description for those stats, but they were really great stats. So I'm just going to go on with the video, and yeah, sorry about that. Lonzo was also number 1 in assists for the summer league. Taking number 3 obviously is Jason Tatum. Tatum was taken 3rd overall by the Celtics, and he's an athletic monster. Tatum is one of the best offensively minded players in the draft, and his size allows him to punish smaller or less athletic players. His game is way more ready compared to most players in the draft, but his 3-pointers are not that good. They're not terrible, but they're not as good compared to the other players in the draft. He's not as versatile as most players like Lonzo Ball and Fultz, but some teams even ranked him number 1. I do know that they play different positions, but I'm just saying. He played 29 games for Duke last season, playing 33 minutes per game and averaging 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. His stats in the Summer League were also pretty good. He played 3 games, playing 33 minutes per game and averaging 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists. His shooting beyond the arc is iffy, but he can reach the rim with ease. He was number 2 in rebounds because of his size and also number 4 in points. He only did play 3 games, so we can see why. Taking number 4 is Josh Jackson. Jackson is an amazing two-way player and probably the best in the draft. His size, length, and athleticism for a wing is actually pretty insane. His jump shot is a little iffy and his free throws are terrible, but his offense and defense is just amazing. Jackson actually had pretty great stats for Kansas. He played 35 games and played 30 minutes per game, averaged 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block per game. Pretty solid, right? But the Suns were in need of a player who can play both sides of the court, and they found him. Jackson also played 5 games in the Summer League, playing 35 minutes per game and averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block per game. Those are actually really great numbers, and he's definitely going to be the perfect addition for the Suns, as they clearly needed a two-way player who was great at defense but also can score on the other side. So number 5 obviously has to go to De'Aaron Fox. Fox was ridiculous in March Madness, where he turned himself into the best player in the division. His speed, toughness, defense, and ability to reach the basket are above elite. His jump shot is pretty decent, but he's showing improvement. Fox played 36 games for Kentucky, playing 29 minutes per game and averaging 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Those are pretty good stats for a point guard, but he should be racking a few more assists. He also played 4 games in the Summer League, playing 21 minutes per game and averaging 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Fox, in my opinion, is a way faster, quick-minded player compared to Lonzo, but like I said, his pass game needs work. He's on the Kings, which is a pretty good young team, and can definitely be a leading role on that team. He's tough, aggressive, competitive, defensive, and a leader on and off the court. I think Fox can deliver. So taking number 6 is Jonathon Isaac. This pick was honestly fucking great for the Magic. Isaac is a long, athletic, and a very skilled player. His defense is amazing, and to add, he can shoot threes and score in the paint. In my opinion, he has every aspect a small forward needs, but he needs to add more strength, and personally, I think he'd be a problem. Isaac is also multi-positional. He has an upside compared to Fultz and Ball, but he's only a project. He played 32 games for Florida last season, playing 26 minutes per game and averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist. Pretty solid, but the fact that he's so versatile is crazy. He played 3 games in the Summer League, playing 18 minutes per game and averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 0 assists. Pretty decent, but I think he can be a potentially great player. Now moving on to number 7 is Dennis Smith Jr. He was drafted 9th overall by the Dallas Mavericks. Smith's combination of elite athleticism and offensive magic makes him an incredible draft prospect. You know, to be honest, I'm kinda shocked that he was drafted 9th instead of like top 5. He played 32 games for North Carolina last season, playing 34 minutes per game and averaging 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's an explosive finisher who clearly can bounce and excel. He's a great 3-point shooter, having 36% beyond the arc last season. However, he does turn the ball over a lot, and his mid-range is pretty subpar. Still, that won't change the fact that Lonzo and Fultz are top prospects and he's mediocre compared to them. He's not going to be the best fit for the Mavs, but his potential is limitless. And finally, we're going to be finishing on Malik Monk. I know people might be saying, where's Zach Collins? But the reason I chose Monk is because he was drafted 11th overall. Monk is probably one of the most electric scorers in the draft, has a deep range on his jump shot, and can hit any 3-pointer. His explosiveness is beyond insane. He's a little undersized being 6'3" and needs to add strength, but overall, he's probably one of the best shooting guards in the draft. Don't at me. He played 38 games for Kentucky last season, playing 32 minutes per game and averaging 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. He did not play in the Summer League because of an ankle injury, but his college highlights prove how explosive he was. Monk is definitely underrated, and I think he can do great things for the Hornets. So now we're going to sum up who I think is going to win the Rookie of the Year. In my honest opinion, I think Dennis Smith Jr. will win the Rookie of the Year because of his athleticism and willingness to reach the rim are beyond any of the other players in the draft. His energy and vision is also great. He's not a greedy player and he also is a great scorer. Smith will do great things for the Mavs and I think he has what it takes to win Rookie of the Year. So I'ma just wrap up the video here. If you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, share with your friends. Thank you for watching. Peace out.